Hello, hello. Yes, so my name is Phil Oy. I'm a product manager at Atlassian. I've been with Atlassian about 3 years. I started on Confluence Cloud, and now I'm on a cloud platform team. So today we're going to talk about exploring cross-product apps. What does that mean? So we're going to do 3 things today. We're going to talk about introducing what we call the Teamwork Platform, share some concepts, and then ask for some feedback. So let me try that again. Yeah, so when I say sharing concepts, I do want to put this giant disclaimer. I should have maybe put the disclaimer text even bigger. A lot of these concepts are absolutely faked out, may or may not happen, but it's stuff that where I'm wanting to whet your appetite, look for some opportunities, and basically really gauge from you which of these are enticing and interesting. So let's get into it. So first, let's talk about the Teamwork Platform. So Teamwork Platform, it's coming to cloud. We've talked about this at Summit before. And you can think of it as a set of common user experiences across our cloud products, right? So looking for ways to help our customers have a familiar experience as they switch between our products. So what does that mean? So let's take 3 products, so Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket. And so Jira has an editor, right? You can type text into the description, you can add comments, custom fields, environment. Jira has user profiles, has search, has notifications, and guess what? Our other products do too. So, and these are, so what we're thinking about is extracting these things out. So if you were just in the talk before with Klaus, you'll notice that in Platform we've developed Cross-Product Editor. Of course, profiles, search, notifications, et cetera. So there's a set of experiences and components that have commonality across all of our products. So now when it comes to extending our products, all of our products are extensible, yay, as you well know, given this audience. But if you wanted to do the same type, bring your app to all these products, you'd have to write them 4 different ways because they're extensible in different ways. There isn't a common target, right? But with the advent of a cross-product editor, for example, so if the same editor is in all 4 products, it opens up the potential for one app to target these 4 different products directly. So we saw a little bit about this morning. Tim and Joel alluded to this, so we'll talk about this some more. So imagine a world where we have the same editor, same notification, same search, same linking, same media, same user profiles, same content rendering, same commenting, navigation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, across all of our products. What opportunities does that open up? So we're nowhere near that, so you'll have to just imagine. But to help with that imagination, we'll share some concepts today. So let's get into it. So let's start with the editor. So you just saw a deep dive for Confluence, but all of our products rely on text input. They're basically giant forms, if you want to think of it that way. So, and when you think about a rich text editor, you think about Confluence, right? So we're hard at work at developing a new best-in-breed rich text editor. And feature-rich brings a lot of the features that we know of from Confluence, add some new ones, makes it more WYSIWYG. So variety of improvements, and we're committed to advancing. So everything from direct resizing of images, alignment, to more robust and direct controls on tables for resizing, merging, and cell colors and things like that. Showing direct manipulation in action. And what we're committed to bringing essentially those same editor features to Bitbucket, Cloud, and Jira. So now suddenly we have the same, if we have the same editor in all 3 places and has this rich WYSIWYG experience, what opportunities does that open up? So the obvious one is macros, right? So everyone knows about Confluence macros. There have been many, many macros created, often by the people in this room, that have extended the power of Confluence. But that's Confluence only. It's always been locked to Confluence. What if you do the same thing in Jira or Bitbucket? So in Confluence, maybe you can make a poll. You want to argue about tabs or spaces in your team space. Just come up with your coding guidelines. But probably the best place to have this argument, religious argument about tabs or spaces, or Vim or Emacs, whatever you want to talk about, is probably going to be directly in Bitbucket. And wouldn't it be great to have that argument on a pull request or on a Jira ticket? So, but yeah, to date, this has not been possible, right? So we could only do these kinds of things in Confluence. So imagine a world where you can extend all of our products with your same editor app. So the good news here, we're previewing this today, so if you haven't heard about Forge, I guess you've been living under a rock. We've been talking about it a lot today at Atlas Camp. But yeah, so you can check out the labs around this because we're previewing this ability. So currently, it's targeting Confluence, but the promise there is that you could have a cross-product macro. So check that out. But there's other ways beyond that which we're thinking about and looking to get feedback on. So linking. What would the web be without links? So in our platform editor, we have a capability where you can bring up a link picker, where you can search across, in this case, your Jira and Confluence pages and issues in one picker and integrates the two so that you don't need a context switch, right? So if you want to link from a Jira ticket to another Jira ticket or from a Jira ticket to a Confluence page, you, rather than opening up a new tab, going to find the thing, grabbing the URLs, tabbing back, and then pasting it in, you can do that search right within that experience, right? So no context switching. So imagine a world where customers could find your apps, links to your sites, to your apps, right within our link picker. So here's an example where we're showing InVision. So someone brings up the link dialog, and they get a list of their recent prototypes from InVision. They can then search across them, all the ones they have access to again bring that directly into, in this case, Jira ticket without having that context switch, right? So without having to open up InVision to go find the thing, to grab the URL and come back. So what if your app was here? What if there was a tab for your site and you could start searching across those and present recents? Now there's a related concept, smart links, which is the output after you insert these links. So we have the ability to, when you paste a link into Jira or Confluence, we'll resolve that link and bring back some metadata. So in this case, as a Jira ticket, it brings back the right icon, the name of the issue, and the status of that issue directly into Jira. But the same thing would happen if you pasted a Confluence link. It would grab the page title and resolve that. We also have extended this to other providers like Dropbox links, GitHub links, and more. It also handles OAuth and authentication, so you can you authenticate to Dropbox to get permission and then to resolve these links. So imagine a world that you could extend those smart links to show to provide metadata for your apps, for your sites. Provide that rich metadata directly in line so that, again, provides more context to the reader. They don't really need to go off to, in this case, InVision to go check out the prototype. You can essentially link to the prototype, possibly embed it directly. So again, provides that context without having to exit where they're doing their work. So another thing we offer is the media uploader. Now the media uploader is, you can bring it up in Confluence. You can see it here in Confluence, and it shows where you can upload a new file by dragging and dropping. It also shows your recent uploads that follow you around. So they're your recent uploads, not necessarily, whether you're in Jira and Confluence and you use both, it'll show you the files you most recently uploaded anywhere you were. But this media picker is also in Jira. Which is pretty cool. And if you see on the left, it has a few other integrations already. So it has Dropbox and Drive and Giphy, because memes are really important. But look at all that space there on the left, right? There's a whole column there. right? So what if your app could be there, right? So what kind of opportunities would that afford if you could create a gallery of some kind of showing assets so that people could easily discover and browse or search through your assets to be able to bring them directly into Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, Trello, whatever the case may be. Again, without having that context switch. You don't need to go off to your app, go find the thing, right-click on the image to copy it, tab back, hit paste. So another thing to explore potentially is highlighting. So people generate a lot of text in our tools. Now we have something in Confluence where if you select text on a Confluence page, it brings up this little floating toolbar, which has comment and create issue. So this has been there for a while, but imagine a world where we have the same renderer across multiple products. So what if you could extend that and hook into that, right? So you select some text, and in this case, it's like a glossary lookup, so you can basically decipher what a TPS report is. So imagine a world where you get an app that takes the selected text and does something interesting with it. What are the opportunities there? Another example are profiles. So we have in all of our products a user profile page, which is also a team profile. We also have a team profile page, which shows recently worked on documents. It shows some metadata about the person. So it shows off their role, their designer, in which department, what their location is, what their local time. So this really helps customers, users on our products looking around. It's like, who is this person that left this comment? I don't understand enough about them. And again, this is something that can appear in Confluence and Bitbucket and in Jira. So if we have this user profile view or a team profile view in all of our products, are there opportunities to extend that? So here's an example where an app that basically showcases where this person spends their time, right? So with how they spend their time in Jira, what projects they work on. So some lightweight time tracking visibility to provide some reporting so that when I go to this person's page, I now know something about them. Another example, maybe a kudos app, right? So giving each other high fives and saying, thank you for doing this, you've been awesome, and which ones they've received. So so that anybody who goes to this person gets a sense, a little bit of the flavor of how they work and what impact they've had within their organization. Or another example, maybe this is pulling some stuff out of Workday about their tenure. Just 3 examples of things that could happen when you had that user context. So what apps could extend the concept of a person? So again, imagine a world that you could show off an app that targets a person or a team. Next up, navigation. So we have multiple apps, obviously. So switching between Confluence and Jira and Bitbucket and Trello, et cetera. We have what we launched as a switcher, which is in our nav, the 9-dot icon in the global navigation brings up the switcher, lets people easily switch between. Martin showed in the keynote yesterday this idea of browsing apps to be able to browse, to discover new apps in Marketplace. But imagine a world where maybe you can put your app directly into the switcher. Is that interesting? Does that solve some problems, let people more easily context switch between our products and yours? Don't know. Looking for feedback. Another example are activity feeds. So we recently launched start.atlassian.com in cloud, which provides a user-centered view of the work that you do across Atlassian tools. So this recently worked on, it shows a blended view across different products and spaces, and it has your recent products at the top. Well, imagine a world where customers could see their work from your tools in here. So there's an example here. It shows InVision, it shows Drive, where potentially recent interesting work, similar to the link picker in the beginning, where some interesting work from your app shows up inside their start. So when someone starts their day, that's why it's called Start, they can get back to their work, and their work, again, can exist beyond just the Atlassian product suite. Yeah, sorry, here's an example of showing a vision. So, to recap, I listed a few different ways where the teamwork platform is surfacing in our products, and I'm hoping this gets your juices flowing on where you might want to extend them. So I talked about linking, smart links, showing that rich metadata, editor macros, which obviously there's huge emphasis today here at Atlassian, but potentially they're not just for Confluence anymore. The media uploader, text highlighting, profiles, both team and user, the navigation, and activity. So those are some of the concepts. So the next one, this is where you come in, and this is where I'd love to get your feedback. So you get a chance now, later. We'd love for you to jump to this URL, which has a form for you to fill out with basically love some color commentary on each of these or others on things that you think might be really interesting. What would you need? What kind of use cases would you be building? So these are all things that would really help us understand where some appropriate investment could be made. So obviously we know about the Confluence macros, making those cross-product. I think there's lots of appetite for that. But what else? I don't know. You tell us. So with that, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, please fill out